So the Essences line from Amouage has become very popular, and we've gotten quite a few releases. We had the original three, then we had Reception, and we had Sinbad, and now we've got the new three. Now, while six of them are fairly easy to obtain at this point, two of them elude us. And one of those is Reception, which is a Harrods exclusive. The other one being Sinbad, which is the Dubai exclusive, which obviously that one's near impossible. But today, I have the pleasure of giving you guys a full review of Reception from Amouage. This is the Harrods exclusive, and this one's interesting. Yeah, stick around, I'll unpack it for you. I've got some interesting thoughts on it, and there are a few things that really make this thing stand out, but also we beg the question of, is this worth the price you're going to pay? So stick around and I'll unpack it for you. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, also known as Scent Nick. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're new here, I create fragrance content in the form of detailed reviews. If that's something that interests you, please consider hitting that like button, drop me a comment below, and join our community by hitting that red subscribe button. Now let's get back to this review. So Reception is, I think, either the fourth or the fifth release in the Essences line. I already talked to you a little bit about the original three and where this and Sinbad fall in place. I don't know which one came out when. That doesn't really matter. This was the Harrods exclusive. Now, for those that don't know, Harrods is a luxury department store in London that is, pretty phenomenal. I haven't been there myself, but they literally have multiple floors dedicated to perfume, and oftentimes they have special exclusive releases that are commissioned just for Harrods. And yes, they are usually a little different from the rest of the line, and they usually have a little bit higher of a price tag. So with that said, let's get into this. A 100 milliliter bottle of this, if you can get your hands on it, is $475, which is very expensive. The perfumer for this was Pierre Negrin, which, praise the Lord for that. It's one of the greatest perfumers that Amouage has ever seen. One of, not the, one of. I know a lot of people really love some other perfumers. Now, the profile of this is going to be that of an aromatic oriental vanilla fragrance. And with all that said, let's get into the note breakdown because it's interesting. So it definitely keeps the Essences line DNA. We're talking about these frankincense kind of spices, the Palo Santo, the creamy sandalwood and vanilla, those kind of things. That's all present here, but with a little bit different of a twist. Top notes for this are going to include coriander, pink pepper, coffee, juniper berry, pine, lemon, and labdanum. And the opening is probably one of the best parts of this fragrance because it's really what sets it apart from the rest of the line, especially with that coffee note. Now, the coffee note in this is definitely a dry, roasty, aromatic style coffee. It's there for a little bit. You kind of wish it stuck around a little bit longer, but it's very pleasant while it's there. You don't pick up on the pine too much. I personally wouldn't mind there to be a little bit more pine, but we definitely got that vibe in timber. Now, there are some really nice fresh aromatics at play here. We get the coriander, which that can be a divisive note for some people. We're getting a cooling, aromatic, herbal kind of spice paired with the pink pepper, which is very nice. You get nice, bright, zingy opening. And then you do get a very noticeable lemon, and it's definitely like lemon oil, kind of the rind, very sharp, very tart. Paired with the labdanum, it creates this interesting, really bright, but also darkness. I really enjoy the opening. I think it's very unique and very well done. Once you get past the opening, that's when you really start to get into the core Essences line. You get a blend of frankincense, cedar, and patchouli. The frankincense, we're very used to Amouage doing that note at this point. It's in a lot of their fragrances, and it's very apparent here. You get that really sharp, Middle Eastern, incensey, and heady kind of resin. It's not bad, it's not great, it's just kind of standard or run-of-the-mill Amouage right now. The cedar is drier, it's kind of on the pencil shaving side, and then the patchouli is very nice. It's rich, it's warm, slightly chocolatey, but done in a pretty prevalent way here. It's very nice. It provides a bit of green. You go from this tan and slightly green opening to a really rich green heart, and then you transition into the base where things just continue to get more interesting and familiar at the same time. The base consists of Palo Santo, vanilla, musk, and cypriol. And yes, the Palo Santo is apparent. This kind of draws some similarities to timber, honestly. I mean, we've got a lot of similar notes at play here. The vanilla is very soft, in my opinion, or at least it's not overt in vanilla. It adds creaminess, it adds warmth, it adds a little bit of sweetness. The musk, not too prevalent, but then the cypriol. That's a curious note here, and I like it. So the cypriol here is definitely pretty prominent, and it adds this really interesting kind of funkiness to it, bordering into oud territory. Now, for those that don't know, cypriol is a key component in making a synthetic oud accord, and there are some slightly animalic tendencies in this fragrance, and it's definitely from that cypriol. I mean, it's very nice. So you get a nice transition from bright, roasty coffee with zesty citrus and spices into a woody and green heart into a nice woody and sweeter and smooth, slightly green and animalic base. It's interesting. It's a very cool wear, I guess. Definitely unique from the Essences line. But the nice thing is, it is more Amouage than many of the other releases in the Essences line. I haven't gotten my nose on Sinbad yet. I do have a decant, which I need to get on my skin at some point. All that said, let's get into the questions. Is this original? Kind of. Kind of. It's just another flanker in the Essences line. You get that DNA here, but it does have a little bit of originality with the use of notes that they're doing, and it stands apart from the Essences line. So we're gonna go like a kind of to yes, I wanna say here. It's hard. It's really hard to say if this is original or not. You have to get your nose on it if you can. The audience for this is unisex, leaning masculine for sure. I think that either gender could wear this, but I think a man would be more appropriate or more comfortable wearing this. The age group for this is gonna be 25 and up. I think a little bit of like that cypriol, that coffee, some of those notes are gonna lend itself to be a little bit more mature of a fragrance. In terms of seasons, you're gonna wanna wear this. This is a fall and winter fragrance and potentially early spring when it's still pretty cool. This thing is fairly strong, so it packs a punch. And with the tone of the fragrance, with those greener, woodier, and slightly sweeter musky aspects, it definitely lends itself to be a cooler month fragrance. Now, in terms of the occasions you're gonna wanna wear this, this could be a signature scent, this could be a daily wear. It has nice aromatic tendencies without being too overbearing, too animalic, too dark, any of that stuff. It does a really good job of that. So where does a signature scent? Wear it out. This is a very versatile fragrance, and for that, I applaud it. Now, in terms of the performance, let's get on to that. So longevity is solid. You're gonna get 8 to 10, maybe even up to 12 hours longevity. It sticks around. It performs like a really nice Amouage. In terms of projection, this thing is not the strongest, which I'm perfectly okay with. We need to get past everything needing to be beast mode, and this does a good job of that. It smells pretty natural, but it projects very well. So we're talking a nice strong from the first few hours, or first hour or two maybe, and then a nice just medium into skin scent pretty quickly after that. And then in terms of the amount of sprays, if you get your hands on this is gonna be something I start including in my videos. So if you appreciate the recommended sprays, let me know that in the comments below. But I would recommend maybe 3 to 5 on this one. I normally go up to 7 to 8 or 9 for most fragrances, but this one, I don't want to be overbearing with this fragrance. I think it's strong enough. 3 to 5 sprays behind the neck, maybe one on the wrist or something. You're gonna be fine for the whole day, and someone's gonna smell you for sure. And with all that said, let's get onto the rating. I'm gonna give this one an 8.5. I think this is really nice. The first time I wore it, I didn't care for it, but I do like that this one gets a little bit more into the classic Amouage territory. It's not the most mass appealing. It's not just this vanilla smooth wood bomb like the rest of the Essences line are. This one stands on its own, and it's pretty unique. So I appreciate that. I think this is a really, really nice release. Although the price is a little on the high side, and the fact that you can't really get this in the States unless you have an in, like, it's difficult. With all that said, I'm curious to know if you've experienced Reception, what are your thoughts on it? And if this is something that sounds nice to you, would you pursue buying a bottle? Like, this is not one you're ever gonna find at discounters. I paid plenty of money for this. I only got a 25% partial too, but I think it's a great fragrance. I would be curious to know your thoughts on it below. If you enjoyed the video, y'all, please consider hitting the like button and join our community by hitting the red subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.